Monday afternoon. It's a little rainy here in upstate New York. That's okay, because we're going to talk about a kind of dreary subject, in my opinion: the trolls. Never feed the trolls. For instance, I was just checking out some of the comments, and by the way, thank you for all the love out there. I really do appreciate it. The Burmese Brigade grows by the day, and I try to cover real news, not fake news, not lies, not sensationalism. And that's why one of the cases I've really focused on, and one of the first cases I really started posting about when I was restarting this channel, resurrecting it from 2012, a channel I started and barely posted on from 2007 on, by the way, guys, was NXIVM. Because NXIVM is the real deal. The court documents prove it. My local media, by local I mean like 80 miles out, but the Times Union, they've done award-winning work on it. Nothing fake about it. In fact, the mainstream media, as I pointed out, has largely ignored the main core issues. Nothing to do with sensationalism. So, for instance, I saw somebody saying, oh, he's got nothing but left-wing sources, this is all fake news, and I'm like, well, what about the deep dive where I read the indictments? I mean, I think to myself, no, that can't be it. No, definitely not. The deep dive where I read the indictments, those are the indictments. And then I read the documentation on Hillary Clinton and how she got donations from the group. And it was reported on all the way back in 2007 for her primary run in 2008, or her attempted run at the 2008 presidential election. And in the indictment, it clearly shows that Nancy Salzman, I believe, the mother, the older Salzman, and Claire Bronfman were telling other members to donate the max they could to Hillary Clinton for this run, and then they would be reimbursed. It's no big deal to Claire. She's a billionaire. They'd be reimbursed, and what was this all for? Political favors. And then you talk about Hillary Clinton's relationship to their father, Edgar Bronfman, who, by the way, in some of this documentation, has been revealed that he actually took some of these courses. Obviously, it seems that things that turned south. Parletto himself said that he was hired, in essence, to kind of go after the old man. And I believe it was either Claire or Sarah Bronfman. Don't quote me which one, but you can watch it. It was in that Vice piece where they claimed that their father, in conjunction with the Illuminati, were manipulating the markets against them. So again, all this stuff is real. And look, if somebody wants to debate me or point something out that's factual, I'm going to be the first one to go check it out, period. I do not want to spew bullshit. I'm here to talk about the truth. I'm not here to sensationalize, and I'm certainly not here to marginalize. So, obviously I posted, hey, this isn't fake news. These are the indictments. There's plenty of firsthand reporting I've done on this, including the symposium. Go check out the information. That's it. We're done. I know it's in my heart of hearts, unless there's some kind of counter evidence that I haven't seen, and I got to be honest, I doubt that's the case, since I am on the lookout for this stuff constantly, combing the news wires. I don't want to hear about it. And in a larger respect, I think that's one of the real big problems, for instance, in the quote-unquote truther community, is so many people are out to make a name for themselves by tearing others down, or making blanket insane statements like, this person's an agent, that person's an agent, he works for them, they're a shill. Look, I don't know what's in somebody's heart until I meet them. And even then, do you really truly know what's in somebody else's head? How they feel? And by the way, guys, thumbs this up. I think I've got the comments on, so if you got a question, we're on a nice little dog walk here. Maybe we'll answer some questions while we go too. But, I've been attacked by a ton of alternative media over the past decade plus. We're talking all the way back in 2005, 2006. And forget about just alternative media, mainstream media. I mean, Fox News, Opie and Anthony bashed me while I was on. I did the Adam Carolla show. He attacked me. So many people. And, you know, side note, I never called for anybody's banning. Especially on the Opie and Anthony show. I think they were discussing having my mother raped by Ramon, who was a rather well-endowed adult film star, if you will, and an HIV-laden penis. It's brutal if you can find that one. All right? But I'd never call for them to be banned. You know, I'd like to debate them on the facts. And that's the thing. If somebody comes at me and they're being genuine and they haven't accused me of some, you know, bullshit claim that I work for this person or that person, or I'm a shill, or I'm not talking about this because, or my partners are this and that, and my friends, when I know firsthand that's all nonsense, and you're basically using your paranoia to cast that upon your internet audience to induce their paranoia instead of looking at any facts. And what does that create? Well, that creates a whirlwind of disinformation, distrust, and misinformation as well, right? And how does that help? I've always talked about how we need to reach out to more and more people. That's the thing. Reaching out and talking to one another and having a conversation about the issues is step one. For instance, I saw another person in the comments, they're like, well, Jason, what can I do? Well, first of all, I don't know what your situation is. I had suggested, hey, you know, this is not a left or right issue when talking about NXIVM, when talking about Epstein, and it's stuff that I cover all the time. I go, you could really make a difference by maybe going to a rally in your area on either side and bringing up these issues with those voters and seeing if they care. And just kind of saying, hey, you know, I'm a nonpartisan person. That's one thing. But let's say you can't leave your house. You know, I don't know what your skill sets are, but there are plenty to be learned on the internet, and there are plenty that are obviously known by now on the internet. And luckily, I've really been able to utilize my internet skill sets, which include obviously broadcasting, the thumbnails, my graphic design. That's what I went to school for, editing, and now, you know, I'm double casting in 1080p news that I feel really matters and that is being underreported, spun, lied about, and marginalized. And it's getting out there, and I'm happy about that. Am I perfect? No. But you don't need to be either. And that's the thing. You know, the first step is doing something, picking an issue, and then thinking to yourself, well, how can I make a difference on that? I certainly don't have all the answers. And, oh, come on, car. Sorry, my dog is seeing another dog in this dog walk. But I do know that inaction breeds apathy, which breeds laziness, which breeds more indifference, which brings us nowhere. And I also know on the flip side of that, when you try to broadly paint a brush like, oh, it's the left, or oh, it's the right, you're also doing a disservice, because it's obviously none of those things. There are billionaires on both sides, and puppets of which on both sides, that are voting for the lobbyists that are what? Paying for and controlling both on behalf of their military-industrial complex, media-industrial complex, and, of course, oh my God, they're masters. Those guys, those are the ones. They're bankster buddies. You know, the banksters, the military interests, and the media interests, because they're all pretty much souped up into one. Alphabet, Google, Jigsaw, you better believe it, guys. So, as you can see, pretty rainy out here, pretty glum, but don't feed the trolls. And that's anybody. Again, you're coming at me in the right place. You got real questions, I got real answers. And reaching out to those people, I'm all about it. But those that do a disservice and just put out bullshit all the time, and this person's an agent, and oh, they don't report on this, they're covering up for this, and they have a connection here, they've never reached out, or they have reached out in a malicious fashion. Why bother? Why bother? Guys, I thank you so much. If you just joined this and it's kind of like just a weird little stroll with a guy you never met before, check out my work. I'm doing real work on things like Alan Dershowitz, Assange, biometrics, Nexium, MK Ultra, 9/11, and more. Ooh, taboo subjects. Can't do those. Well, I'm doing them. Guys, I'll talk to you soon. Hit that subscribe button, share this